Hello, students. Good afternoon. Today, I am discussing a topic which is uncommon, but which is the need of hour because during teaching linguistics in the class, we had found number of contradictions, and that is why I had to face lot of problems, and then I decided to find out rules and norms of English language because according to definition sometime that's new concepts are not matched. For example, I would like to start from IC analysis. When I was teaching IC analysis and we were analyzing sentences in immediate constituent analysis, so then I taught because I taught analysis on the basis of phrases which is a tree diagram which is based on phrases. So when we were discussing then according to definition of phrase, we have found that the definition of phrase says that this a phrase is a group of words that functions as a single part of speech like a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb, but it does not contain both a subject and verb. I'm repeating that according to definition of phrase, that's a group of words which does not contain subject and verb or subject and predicate. So now question is that if group of words does not contain subject and predicate or verb, so what is the meaning of verbal phrase or verb phrase? That's a question, and that is why there are then we discussed a lot and then number of problems were there. That is why I am uh, I am reading text with you that what actually rules and norms are there in English grammar. So let us read together. Here, English grammar can be broadly categorized. That's a categorized descriptive, prescriptive, and theoretical approach. Several theoretical approaches. So then here we have seen that there are three types of English grammar. One grammar for descriptive, one is prescriptive, and in another theory, one grammar is based on theoretical approaches. So now descriptive grammar analyzes how language is actually used, right? How languages actually use descriptive grammar, how language is actually used, while prescriptive grammar, that's the prescriptive grammar says that focuses on rules and norms, and theoretical theoretical that is a theoretical approach that explores underlying structures and processes of language, that is theoretical. So one by one, very slowly, first we have to understand what is descriptive grammar, right? Descriptive grammar analyzes how language is actually used, right? That is descriptive. Rules, what rules and norms says, but then how language is used, that is different. Let me give one example. If I am teaching you tenses and I am teaching you continuous tense, and I say that I would say that that's a continuous tense means that is when action is in progress. then we use continuous tense. For example, I'm teaching you, right? I was teaching you, I will be teaching you. In all these sentences, present first represent present tense. I am teaching you. Past tense, I was teaching you. And future, I will be teaching you. But then action is in process in all these three sentences. So here, yes, that is, condition is action must be in process. But sometime I use continuous tense for future tense. How? If I say that, I am going movie today. Not at the time of speaking, but still I am using this sentence for future planning. So that is different from rules. And this is the example of descriptive grammar. Means when we use, how we use and how norms are different. What norms or grammar says and how we use, both are different. So which is called descriptive grammar. Now next is prescriptive grammar. So what is prescriptive grammar? Prescriptive as prescribed, prescriptive grammar. That's doctor prescribes the medicines without making argue or without using your brain. We have to take the medicines which are instructed or prescribed by the doctor. Similarly, according to prescriptive grammar, what rules and norms say, we have to follow. Why? Because which are prescribed. For example, if I say that the common structure of English language is subject plus verb plus object, right? So subject is what? Subject is noun and pronoun, which is called subject. Object is called noun and pronoun. And the difference between this noun and pronoun and this noun and pronoun, this is for doer. This noun and pronoun is doer, they do action. And this noun and pronoun is receiver, because they affect. Example, very simple example, always keep in mind, that is Ram killed Ravan, right? Here noun is what? Noun is, this is noun and this is also noun, but this is doer and this is receiver, and that is why this is subject and this is object. This is left side, this is right side. Object always comes after the verb, subject before the verb. Okay. Now, so this is prescriptive grammar of English language. If I say Hindi language, so Hindi language, prescriptive grammar of any Hindi language, that is Ram aam khata hai, right? So that is Ram aam khata hai. Here Ram is, that is subject, aam is object and khata hai is verb. Here sequence is changed, subject plus object plus verb. So this is, whenever we make sentence, we have to make sentence according to this rule. First we have to place Ram, then object, then the verb. मैं मंदिर जाती हूँ, right? मैं जाती हूँ मंदिर नहीं होगा, मैं मंदिर जाती हूँ. But in English, I go to temple. है ना? समझ में आ रहा होगा कि दिस इज़ द बेसिक रूल ऑफ एनी लैंग्वेज. ये लैंग्वेज के अपने अपने रूल्स होते हैं. तो प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव ग्रामर सेज दैट, व्हाट्स द रूल? प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव ग्रामर फोकसेस ऑन रूल्स एंड नॉर्म्स, कि भाई ये रूल्स है, वी हैव टू फॉलो द सेम. ओके. नाउ थर्ड grammar is theoretical grammar. Theoretical grammar based on theories, explores the underlying structures. This is underlying structure, right? Underlying structures and processes of language. Suppose here if I say that I have written a book. Process is that where to use article before noun or after noun. I have written book, a book. So this is the process. This is called process. Okay. So including approaches like generative and transformational grammar. Right? So generative, we are going to understand generative and transformational grammar. What are they? Which comes under theoretical grammar, means theory, what theory says. So this way we have seen three types of grammar. First is that is descriptive, how do we use the language, descriptive grammar. Second one is prescriptive grammar, right? What rules are prescribed. And third is theoretical grammar, how theories and what are the theories, what theory says. Okay, now descriptive grammar. First is descriptive grammar. Focus describing how language is actually used by speaker and writers rather than prescribing how it should be used. I gave you example of tense. Continuous tense is used for future tense. Suppose if I am saying that now these days I am reading Shakespeare. So that not at the time of talking I am reading Shakespeare, but it is in process, right? So that is another example. However, I have taught you that continuous tense is used when action is in progress. But here no, right now I'm not reading at the time of speaking. But these days I'm reading Shakespeare. So that is also another example of prescriptive grammar, that how we use language, which is descriptive grammar. Example they have given, that is analyzing the variations in dialects, slang and informal language, right? What is the slangs and all? I'm trying to find it out. Okay, no problem. I'm telling you. That's variations in dialects, right? Dialects, you know that the language which is developed within a community is called dialects, right? So that is variations in dialects. Language is same, English, but then dialects means that English is divided into different community, means that the language uh, is used differently in different communities, right? That is dialects. Slang, sometime we develop slang and we under community understand, members of community they understand. Slang is the word which is invented by the community and then they use according as per their um, per their convenience, or sometime we can say that what any word, right, which is invented. For example, uh, if I say that informal words, right, or expressions used in specific social group, right? So that's for example is that's a no cap, right? Means no cap means don't tell lie, right? That is salty, है ना? That is also another slang. Then OMG, है ना? OMG is oh my god. So we say instead of oh my god we say OMG, right? So that is these are the slangs. LOL you must have read somewhere, right? So LOL is that's a uh, laugh out loud, right? So that is LOL. So these are the different words, right? So there are many slangs which are used in language, and these are the informal language, right? So that is new slangs are developed, right? So these are the this is describing in descriptive grammar, and that is informal language. Formal language, we are bound to use the words which are prescribed, so that prescriptive grammar we have to use. But informal, for informal language we use descriptive grammar, right? Now next one is prescriptive grammar. So what is prescriptive grammar? Establishing rules and norms for language use, often found in style guides and textbooks, right? What is rules and norms for language use? Often found in style guides and textbooks, right? In textbooks, and then style guides means you must have listen MLA style sheet, है ना? MLA, Modern Language Association, MLA style sheet, right? So here they prescribe modern format of letter writing and a biography, references, how to write, right? So here you have to stick with the rules, right? You cannot use anything by developed by community or something. You have to use uh, prescribed rules and norms. So that comes under prescriptive grammar. Example, rules on subject verb agreement. For example, what is subject? Correct tense, usage and pronunciation, right? Correct tense you have to use, correct pronunciation you have to use, right? So that is subject verb agreement. Means if I say I go to market, so here that is I is subject and go is verb. Sorry, 8 minute. Go is verb, and that is subject is here. I is singular, but we know that go is also go is plural, but for I we all use all plural rules are used for I. Another example I'm giving you. She goes, right? She goes to market. Why goes? Because this is she is singular and goes is also singular. So that is present is, है ना? So, and that is use for, so that is called subject verb agreement. This is subject, she is subject, and this is verb, subject verb agreement. Last example, if I say they go to market, right? So here they is subject and go is verb, right? And they is, that is singular, and that is sorry, they is plural, and that is also plural. So that is called subject verb agreement, which is very important in prescriptive grammar. Now last one is theoretical grammar. Theoretical grammar is generative grammar. Theory, theoretical is theory. So what theory says? A theory that seeks to explain how speakers can produce and understand an infinite number of sentences based on a finite set of rules, right? What? A theory that seeks to explain how speakers can produce, how speakers can produce and understand an infinite number of sentences based on a finite set of rules. How? For example, I'm telling you that, for example, that is girls college, right? Girls college. Here we don't write girls' college. This is wrong. If I put S here, this is wrong. Why? Because theory says that how speakers can produce and understand an infinite number of sentences based on finite rules. So these are the rules, and how we can produce means they have given a set of rules, and then accordingly we make sentences, we make paragraph, write ups, write books, we write book, but where we have to follow the set of rules which are in front of us, or which are maintained or prescribed in the syllabus, in the book, grammar book. So that is theory, what theory says actually. So according to theory we have to follow the rules, right? Sometime, in fact, one example, let me give you one example. A correspondence course, repeat here, correspondence course, है ना, correspondence course. Correspondence is what? That is noun, course is noun. Two noun cannot be used together, but still we use. That is another contradiction. But theory says that it's fine. There is no problem. Frequently we use. So that is called generative. That's an example of generative grammar. Moving to next, that is transformational grammar. A specific type of generative grammar that focuses on how sentences are transformed from a deep structure to a surface structure. Very important, transformational. According to sentence, deep structure to surface structure means sentences are changed, modified uh, according to time, situation, are called transformational grammar. For example, transformational grammar, I'm giving you example, between, right? So that is you between, that's a short form of between. Market, right? So that's a market, right? Why? Because this deep grammar does not allow, but then according to situation, because of space and whatever, SMS language, email language we use, that is called surface structure. So we use sentences like this. You must have noticed in newspaper. I remember that 2 decades back, when it was started, in fact 3-4 decades back when it was started, short terms, abbreviation, then many took observation, no, we should stick with the rules, and that is, grammar does not allow these short terms for black and white for newspaper, because newspapers are very authentic document. But still now, because time says that we use these kind of language, we use English Hindi mix phrases even in newspaper, even in novels and all. So that is called, that comes under transformational grammar, means according to situation we transform the sentence, right? Now, other theoretical approaches are there. Cognitive grammar focuses on role of cognition and mental processes in sharpening grammar. Means we have to uh, understand, absorb, and then absorb the rules. So what's the mental process like? For a example, for take a child example, that's a, when you were kid, then your brain developed uh, this way, that is called phonological process. That suppose you have received, a child receives a word in the beginning, so he animal, so he speaks aminal. Why? Because gradually he understands that it's not aminal, it's animal. So gradually he corrects himself. Then suppose he would say that cell phone, so he would say it's a phone, because he's not able to understand that is cell phone. He's not familiar with spelling and correct sound, right? For example, if he says that that's a for example, um, video games, so he would say video game, for example. So gradually he understands and he absorbs a rule, so that is called, that is cognitive grammar, means which is rules which are absorbed by your mind. Okay, now next is, that is construction grammar. Construction grammar suggests that the grammar is built up from basic units called construction. And basic units are what? Basic units is letter, then word, then phrases, then clauses, and then sentence, and then paragraph. So basic unit is what? Basic unit is letter. So first, that's why we are taught letter, right? We teach letters to a kid, and then words, then phrases, then clauses, and then sentences, and then paragraph writing, composition, and all. So this is construction grammar. This comes under construction grammar. Now last one is lexical functional grammar, a framework that separates syntactic structure, the form, from semantic content, the meaning. Syntactic structure means that is framing of a sentence, and meaning. For example, if I say that I'm teaching to my kid, I'm teaching him like this, that's a put subject, then verb, then object. So what he would write? He would write Ram eats a mango, right? But if I say that, he says, I said, okay, subject is noun or pronoun. I didn't teach him or her detail, right? I said subject, just now I taught you, earlier I taught you, subject is doer. What noun or pronoun? Which does work, action, are called subjective noun or pronoun, and objective noun or pronoun which are affected, right? And that's why they are always placed after the verb. Though both are noun, subject is noun or pronoun, object is noun or pronoun. But why subject, this noun or pronoun is called subject? Because they are doer, they do action, right? And object because they receive or they affect by the doer. And that's why Ram killed Ravan. Why? Because Ram is subject and Ravan is an object, because Ram's work affects Ravan, right? But Ravan killed Ram, if I say, so that will be wrong, right? Similarly, one more example, John eats bread and bread eats John, because it is also noun or noun. John eats bread, bread eats John, noun, then verb, and then again noun. John eats bread, bread eats John, but that is wrong construction. So here I have to tell that what is, I have to teach more about this construction. That is not enough if I say subject, verb, and object. Here John eats bread and bread eats John, right? So that is, my child can ask me that is subject, then verb, and then object. Here also the same, that is subject, right? And then verb, subject, verb, and object, right? What the harm? So then I would say that that's a bread cannot eat someone, that is non-living thing. So this detail, that is lexical functional grammar, a framework that separates syntactic form is different but meaning is different. So how sometime blindly we cannot form the sentence, we have to maintain meaning as well. That is called lexical functional grammar. So that is something about types of grammar, right? English grammar, and which is very important, and that's a very small knowledge, very superficial knowledge about grammar, but yes, we have to study in detail, then we will be able to understand linguistics properly. So thank you so much. God bless you.